And once again, a huge thank you to all of our financial supporters who help us fund not just the show each week, but also our epic annual Christmas giveaways. The 87.8 Survivor FM Club, all your names are on the screen there. Raymond Normoyle, Petty, Greedy Peasant, Gone Postal, Jay Skillett, all the rest of yous. Thank you so much, especially our two new members, but also our podcast bosses, Kenny Baker and Cinnamon. Guys, you're both legends. Thank you so much. But a big thank you to our live show Chad, Roger Roaster, 2 months now, mate. Just know, though, that all of you are legends who, just by watching the show each and every week, help keep us going strong. Thank you all for your support, and we hope you enjoy this week's show. And we're live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And welcome to episode 165 of the DayZ Podcast, brought to you, as always, by our loyal supporters on our YouTube members. And a big shout out to the Roger Rooster, the big Discord or live show Chad. Thank you so much for your support, mate. We are joined this week by Cobra. How you doing, buddy?
Very good, mate. Very good. How are you?
Not too bad. Not too bad at all, mate. Archie's in chat there, but he's got pink eye or herpes or some sort of cooties, and he can't be live on the show, so he has to be in the chat. Much love, Archie.
Basket.
But our guest this week is the one, the only Mr. Josie Garfunkel, the man who knows all about the G-spot.
Well, there were so many jokes that have been said right there, but let's keep it PG. Yeah.
The G code, man. You must have known that you were getting
it. Actually, that chose me because the Josie Garfunkel came first, and the G was the fixation. Because back in grade school, you got G's instead of A's over here and shit. So I don't know. I just floated with the G, and then the G code, like the Garfunkel code.
Yep. So where did that all come from, the Josie Garfunkel?
2006, I think it was. There was a game called Rainbow Six Vegas 2. And there was some shit called MLG, like Major League Gaming or something. You could compete with like other clans or whatever. And we made an old ladies clan. Like we had a Gertrude and an Ethel and shit. And I picked Josie Garfunkel as my old lady name. And here it is now. Like, fuck it. Just kind of rolled.
So you identify as an old lady named Josie Garfunkel when you play.
Yeah, but I did it back when it wasn't cool. Now you can identify as whatever, and it's awesome. Like I did it before it was cool. So
did you do voices and shit like that when you were playing?
Oh yeah. Oh my god. Yeah,
that's
dude.
Awesome.
Oh my
awesome. God. I have much respect for that. But mate,
I mean, Xbox 360. You can imagine the worst. Oh yeah.
Got the golden era of trash talk in the chat.
Oh, I got stripes from that shit.
Yeah. So, mate, you came to our attention because, there's a lot of people out there who are, struggling to learn and all the rest of it, and especially with the console side of things, with some of the codes and the little JSONs and that, and you're almost like another version of a Don Sibley or someone like that, mate, just throwing out all these little JSONs of interesting setups and stuff that people can do. Your Discord is just a treasure trove of information.
It is a mess of unnavigational nonsense. Nah, it started small. I learned from Sibley and some other people out there, but there just wasn't the same type of detail, I guess, into the explanations of things that helped me learn personally. Like, I don't know, ADHD, bunch of other weird shit in the brain. So it's like I learned different. So I had to look at shit different. So I took bits and pieces of what I learned from all these other people and just kind of figured out my own way to make stuff work, and started learning that other people kind of looked at it the same way. Met my friend Dabs and Doritos. He was kind of looking at things the same way I was with like proxy and stuff at the time. It had just came out when they what'd they do? They hung the doors on the Rex and shit in the protos. And I come across that, I'm like, the fuck is this? I'm like, what is this about? And I didn't really understand yet until this dude Justin Pitcher put out this store and Sibley showcased it. And it was just guns on the walls and shit. And that just inspired me to like learn the mechanics of it. And then this other dude I met, like I say, Dabs and Dorito, he was doing the same shit. And I was like, well, let's teach people how to do this shit. And then it turned into like, well, let's make a Discord and just post our files. Like, I didn't have a server. He had a server, but like, I was making all kinds of files and content, but it's like, I didn't have nothing to do with it. Didn't have a server. It was just something I did. Like, used to play Fallout 4. So like, you built settlements, and I just kind of got into like building shit with the XMLs on console long before getting into PC shit. It was 5 years ago or something. But well, like 4 or something. But just started sharing it, and it just started growing. And then it's like, well, shit, we got to make another channel for this, and we got to make another channel for that. And it's like, well, shit, just make another channel and throw the link in there, and turned into this big old mess of whatever that is.
It's good though, isn't it, Cobra? Seeing people out there sharing this sort of knowledge, because there's one of the criticisms I've heard, Cobra, that when you're getting into the modding, and I imagine that there's even less out there by BI for the console side of things, but there's very few places you can go to find everything for how to get into it.
Well, I completely agree. I mean, self and Josie are having this conversation just before we come on air, and my standpoint is always the same. DayZ community should be about sharing as much as
Yes.
possible with all of us, not holding back on something that you may want to gatekeep. You know, the love is there for all of us. You know, we all should be helping other people grow and learn stuff. So Josie, I think you did a great job, mate. You just keep yourself going, mate.
Thank you. Well, it started because like there was unqualified people, unartistic view, like just basic generic Walmart style coding, or well, I don't even call it coding, but like they were charging an arm and a leg for junk, in my opinion. I was like, let's just shit on it and do it for free. Like dead ass. Like for the last several years, I've kind of like I get up every day, I check the stats, I check the channels, I see who's put out what kind of like builds are being done, and you pretty much strive to shit on whatever you can find and throw it out for free. That's all.
Mate, you're getting a big up there in the YouTube chat, mate. Scale Speeder saying your content is top notch. And
that means a lot coming from you, sir. Thank you. Learn from him as well.
That's a big up, mate. You know, probably the only bigger up you could get is if Don Sibley himself came in here and said, "Yeah, man, this guy teaches me shit."
He's a busy dude.
Being TikTok famous with his bloody funny stuff he was doing over there, and his part-time career as a Fortnite gaming pro, getting ready to take on Ninja and Tfue and all the rest of those boys.
Oh yeah, we've chatted. Like we've chatted a few times. I've passed some files back and forth actually with him. He's in the G code and shit. He's been around for a while. I've tried to like I say, anybody that was doing something in the community for free, at some point I've tried to reach out. I've kind of got told to fuck off a lot too, but like I've tried to partner with other places, but we tried to do it when we was like 200 members, 300 members. Like we thought that was the ceiling for us. Like we thought, hell yeah, man, we got 250 people. This is cool. This is it. I don't know. Just people started collecting more and more, and I don't know.
So what's the main thing that you're doing with your G Code Discord, mate?
These days, as little as possible. Just keep on educating. I'm different in the hobby. Like I don't even know what came with the update. I couldn't tell you what came with 121. Fuck, I don't even know half the assets from 119. Like I just don't even keep up with any of that shit. Like I say, I work full time, usually overtime. Like shit's got it. You know what I'm saying? Ain't trying to get rained on under a bridge. But
is your full normal job computer related or something completely different?
Oh,
This is your
fuck
hobby,
no, man. I fucking drive around a fork truck, put boxes in a basket, and eat gummy bears out of my pocket for 10 hours a day. or peanuts or whatever the fucking pocket candy I have at that moment. But
are they CBD gummy bears or just normal sugar ones?
I don't know who's watching. We can't really talk about that. Tobacco use only, don't you know?
And you got some cool stuff in the background there, mate.
Yeah, the missus threw that together yesterday, just specifically for this situation. So, other than that, all that shit was in boxes. I don't know. I'm a toy collector, so I got like That's half a box worth. There's 10 more boxes there and a shitload of stuff out of my parents' house.
Is that a
Like,
Assassin's Creed figurine from
oh
the
no, it's
That's
Batman.
Batman, man. That's
And
Batman.
just literally
Yeah,
everything over there is just about it's all Batman. A little bit of Fallout down there.
So you must like my chair then?
What you got?
Oh, dude.
Yeah, what we got here? The Joker edition or something right there? dog?
Ah, you got the Joker one, yeah. Yeah.
Bro,
There-
Batman.
We were talking in the Discord just the other day. Bit of an aside here, totally unsponsored, but Secret Lab chairs are worth every fucking. I know there's some other
Dude,
bloody
on
Armani
God,
leather
man.
fucking made from the
Yes,
baby seal
yes.
skins or something like that.
Whatever.
Ones, but when it comes to a good quality, it's not a cheap chair, but find
It's
them.
the
What is it? We've got Black Friday
adjustability.
coming up soon, and those sales, you will
Yeah, but
not
that ain't
go
gonna do shit
wrong.
for these chairs, to be honest.
It's my son and I. We've had ours now for 2 to 3 years, and my missus was in here just the other day, and she was looking at them, and she goes, "They still look brand new. They are that
I
good."
got
And
a couple complaints, but I mean, like I got the Titan XL, so it's bigger.
Yeah,
I'm
same,
6'4",
same.
like it's
I'm 6'4" as well. Yep.
the
6'3" now.
adjustability of the arms, dude. That's what, like, that sold it for me. Like that's what's up. But it's
I actually
split
feel
along the
mine are actually
inside.
good. Like they slide back and forward, and I've
Oh
never
yeah,
had an issue with
but
that myself. But
it's split along the seam because like I didn't always have the desk in this type of setup, but like I've had the chair for 3 years. We pre-ordered the Joker. Like my missus, she pre-ordered the Joker, I don't know, 3 or 4 months before it even came out, and then it was like, shit, I didn't get it for like 6 months from the time she actually ordered it. But I guess just like leaning on it all weird and shit, trying to like finagle on a table and whatnot as I've like worked up my equipment and shit. Like it just kind of like got wear and tear on it. But
yep.
other than that, it's only $60 for a new arm or a set of arms or something. So like, I don't know, whatever. I've been putting it off. I still got monitor mounts and shit. There's so much junk in the corner. We're getting there one day, eventually. I don't know. Like
So
enough of yeah.
you were chatting before the show with Cobra and I, as we mentioned, and where are you at with streaming more consistently, or just not really feeling that?
Like I enjoy the Twitch. I like the interaction, but with what I do, like I'm not a gamer. Like I used to be a gamer, but since 107, I haven't really played the game. Like you ask some family, and they're like, oh, he sits in that room and plays that computer all day. Like, nah, but I don't actually play. I just sit there and mod stuff. And here lately, I'm getting more and more into scripting. And like, I don't know how many scripts you've looked at, but like, it doesn't really get you off. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not really something fancy to be looking at. So it's like nobody really wants to watch that thing. You got like 7 people maybe that want to learn some shit, but like the streaming, I feel like it took more focus away from my YouTube, and I really enjoy what I did on YouTube. Like I like making little cinematic scenes, and
It's so different streaming versus YouTube content creation, and it's so hard to
Take
fit them both
73
in.
might be the one, you know? Like,
Yeah, like Cobra, you're doing both now. It's challenging, isn't it, being a streamer and making your own
I'm
content?
juggle.
I spend, as from Monday, I'm full time now. So, mate, I am spending 4 days a week live schedule. The rest of the time, shorts, video creating. So I've got every 1.5 weeks now, a video's got to go out. That's a week's worth of editing. Mate, I'm fucked. There's nothing left. There's no time. So, we'll see where it goes. I don't know how sustainable that's going to be, but it is what it is. So I know your pain, Josie.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of people I don't know how to explain this. And I doubt he's in here, but he sleeps too much. Dabs and Doritos has literally witnessed this. Like I'll sit and chat and just discuss a game plan of a project that I want to do. Something that like we hadn't even discussed before. We'll just be in chat one day. He'll say something like, "Oh man, now this would be a cool idea." And over the next 6 hours, sit here and make it work. Pass it to him, let him test it on console. Like I don't have servers on none of that shit. I just play with it, local server and whatnot. But pass it to him, he'll test it. fix it, and within like 2 hours of that, like set it up, video it, get the scenes, maybe a 9-hour session. Like wake up, not have a clue what we're doing, and shit out a video in 9 hours. And
it's hard, man. It's hard shit.
Yeah, but it's the, if you're gaming, you got something to show. Like you hope you meet somebody, you kill somebody, an interaction. Like it tells itself kind of, as long as you get on the right server. As a modder, like if you're gonna try to make content, like you got to shit out every single step of the way what you're gonna do. Like I don't get to jump on a server that's already built. I got to build the scene. I got to set the scene. I got to, you know what I'm saying? I got to set the zombies up. I got to set the territories up. You got to set the animals coming in at the right time. Spawn points. I don't know. Just, you really do got to like set the whole story up.
And like Archie's saying in there in chat, and I've seen it with so many creators and that, if you want to stand out, you've really got to invest the time and the quality. You can just, simply stream and then hit the publish and, upload it to YouTube or whatever, which, that may work for you. But for the most case, unless you've got a massive existing audience, no one's going to watch a 5-hour gameplay. You need to go back and if it was good, and do a good edit. And, you need to be looking at the kings of that space at the moment, your JLKs, your South Suites, TRMZ, and that for the Fubar Bundy, the way that they do their edits to make them more interesting, because bizarrely there's just so much content out there, and that's just talking about gameplay. But the modding stuff, if it's not done right, it's probably one of Scale Speed has probably got the benchmark for how to do it at the moment. He's got a pretty good style that works out, and he's become almost the go-to for anyone looking for information regarding but the basics of doing servers and all the rest of it. You're doing scripting and modding. That's just that's
I don't
massive.
teach how to do any of that. Like what I'm doing with the PC stuff is just, I don't know, that's my own amusement. I haven't taught anybody scripting really. I put a couple templates out. Like me and Everyone Knows Dave talked off and on over the last couple of years. And he's put out some things, and we've kind of played back and forth on some things. He put out a thing about a loading screen and then how to do sounds on things. And I ended up making a loading screen with sound template so people could just go in, swap the info out, and have it function. So like I played off of what he's done and kind of gave them a tool to like make it a little easier, I guess, kind of like take out the guesswork.
That's great to hear, isn't it, Cobra? Two guys seeing each other doing something. What you've done is great.
That.
Let me see what I can do with it. Here we go. And that's
well, like learning from each other too, like filling the gaps. Like I've tried to talk to several people. I don't know if you've seen a mod called AJ's Creatures. They got like some demon creatures and whatnot. And I've had to talk with him about a couple things. So I've learned from him, and went on to actually took his mod and added particles to it. So there's like flames above the demons' heads and shit now. Like,
do you know
satanic ritual sounds? I had to listen to that shit for hours, recording snippets.
You got to be careful doing things like that, though. Wow. Like I saw on good old Twitter, which is such a positive and so on place. We shared the crocodile mod that Hunter Z has finally finished.
Yeah, I want to check that out.
And someone replied, yes, this the classic Soviet crocodile. They're so known for them. And I'm like, oh man, come on, just let people have fun.
Like, let it be a crocodile, man. Like, don't be all extra about that.
Yeah.
It looks good though. Like, I want to check it out.
What were you going to say, there, Cobra?
I was just saying. I was just about to say that what the one thing I think the modding community, or one of the things the modding community do really well, better than the content creator community, is that they are more open and they're happy. A lot more of them are happier to share and talk each other through, help each other out, which is really nice to see. That I just I get it. I get it. As myself and Josie were talking about this again earlier today, and it's like we both are at the point where we turn our messages off now on social medias. But the fact of the matter is that is only because you get overwhelmed and you can't reply to all of those messages that come in. But the fact of the matter also is that people do take advantage of that. Now, I just love the fact that on the modding side that everyone does kind of use those boundaries quite nicely, I think, and they're so open. Whereas my experience from before, you try and help someone, they're all after something from you, you know. And if you reach out, like you know, multiple people have viewed this story a lot. Content creators reaching out to other content creators, it's a very closed off situation a lot of the time, and I don't get it, mate. I don't get it. I've spoken to a lot of these content creators. Got a lot of respect for a lot of them. Everyone I talk to is pretty open, bar maybe 4 or 5. But it just so happens that some of those are some of the top ones. So I don't get it myself.
It's very weird. Like there was a big scandal in I don't know what sort of community type it's called, but these ones where they talk about, you know, problems with businesses and all the rest of it. And there's this channel called Illuminati or something like that. She called out Legal, if you guys have ever heard of his channel. He's like 2.5 million, like 5 million subscribers on YouTube. Yes, like Scarspeeder just said, a rising tide lifts all the boats.
Completely,
But
completely.
he's that big. He has editors, and one of his editors reached out to one of her editors and said, "Hey, what's this style that you're using for? It's a plug-in or something when you're using Adobe that gives like a paper effect or something like that." And that got turned around to stealing their style, and it was like, people have been using this style for years. It's just a simple plugin that you can get for free in Adobe, and the guy just wasn't sure which one it was, but they turned it into this big drama. There are just some people who want to gatekeep. They're only in it for themselves, and
That's it, though. That is it, though. That's it. You've hit the
I'm
nail on the head.
100%
See,
what
I'm the
Scarspeeder said. A
opposite of
rising
that.
tide lifts all boats, and I love what you're
Completely
doing,
agree.
Josie.
Like, I feel like, I don't know how to word it. Hold on. Like when I first started watching everybody demo their videos, it was, again, come from console world. So like I watched console people, like PC, like fuck can I do with a builder item? So like everybody was just in first person or third person, whatever, walking around showcasing what they built. And even in editor, it was just kind of like standard walk around showcasing stuff. And I thought there should be like some cinematicness to it. You know what I'm saying? Like kind of, I don't know, show it off a little bit differently.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I guess that's where it kind of all started.
No, it's good to do that. You put in a little bit of effort in that, make it a bit more enjoyable, a bit more rewarding. One of the things you've got going for you, mate, is you've got a really engaging voice. You know,
Oh,
you've got
what
that.
the hell?
No,
Nah,
you've got that.
hell
You know,
no.
you do. You've got that deep bass voice. You've got a, you know, kind of a, almost like a
Love it.
70s
That's
jive.
your audio settings. Y'all need
No,
to tweak it down or
it's a
something.
70s jive sort of sound, and it's quite interesting. So even your videos, your little intro, hey, what's up? You know, it's
Well,
very,
man, that wrote itself. The outro wrote itself. Like the outro happened and turned into the intro of. I hope y'all I hope y'all learn some shit. Like I was in a chat with my friend Dabs, and I was trying to make like my first tutorial ever. This was about 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago, or something. Neither one of us knew what was going on. Nope. Like we needed a video guy. He's like all of us on the team. It was me, him, and our friend Rafi. Rest in peace, he passed away. But we was just trying to figure out how to make it work, and we was like, we need a video guy. So I had to learn to do all that shit, and like didn't know how to intro or nothing. Had a shitty little like Xbox microphone, like all that garbage.
I'll
And
be
at the
there.
end of it, I was like, well, how do I end this thing? He's like, I don't know, just tell him thanks for watching. So I was like, all right, well, hope y'all learn some shit. I'm out. And I was like, oh, that should be the intro, man. Let's learn some shit. And so like I went back and like recorded the intro and like
What's cracking? Josie
I don't know,
Garfunkel.
just stuck with
What's
it.
Coming at you with
cracking?
another
Josie Garfunkel.
awesome feature.
Yeah,
of
that
DayZ
shit right
XML ejector.
Dude, sometimes, and it sucks because like Dabs would say, he's like, yo, you should just record get a good take on it and then just save the audio, right? That would be the smart thing to do, right? No, every single time is a fresh take. And it might be like the 12th take of saying the intro to be like, whoa, that ain't Josie. Like, let's fix that.
Yeah, I'll do that.
I don't know. I guess I
Yeah.
do things the hard way for no reason.
Yeah,
I did like
perfectionist,
this
mate.
one,
That's
this
what it is.
last one. So the map POS pull tool. Again, just a
Oh,
nice
yeah.
little tool that people can use. Do you want to explain that
Dude,
one, folks?
That dude is a guy, DayZ Devil. If you're out there, dude, much love. This dude started making a bot. Fuck, I don't even know how long ago. I remember when he started showing it. Like I started seeing it in Bahalshed's Discord, and if you mod stuff, you know that name. But big Discord. But I started like he's affiliated with that one or whatever, and I seen the bot and stuff that he was doing or whatever. He ended up, I think he contacted me about it or whatever. But we added it to the G code, started playing with it, and here lately he's been adding some new features, and we were like, hey, can we get this? Like I don't know, me and Dab's just been kind of talking with him, like, hey, we could use a tool that does this, and like the dude shits it out, and it's flawless. Like it works amazing. It does exactly what you want it to do, and it's quick too. Like it pulls them. Like I pulled just playing around with it, all of Northwest Airfield specifically, just the pause entries of that, and like I don't know, 2.5 minutes tops. Like that's me like clicking back and forth and all that shit. Probably faster, but like yeah, and there we go. Boom, death match. Like it was that easy, and I love the concept of that ability. Like you can build any type of server you want between a Discord bot and an Azervive app. Like that's pretty much the goal too. Like because there's people on console that are on cell phone, but you can pull some coordinates, throw that shit in another program that can like implant this shit, and it goes deeper than that. Like his bot, you can connect it to a server and actually do server commands. It's not a kill feed. It's like different type of shit. Like you can add files and shit like that. But I don't know. It's a good resource. It's a great tool. There's a bunch of them. Like I don't know. I wouldn't say promote, or I guess promote. I don't know. Offer home advertisement for like multiple different tools. Kill feeds, tons of different kill feeds. Some awesome kill feeds out there actually. Offset Syntax. He put tutorials out a long time ago on how to make a kill feed, and that just I don't know. I kind of made my own from that. Like played with the embed and whatnot. Learned to make different types of catches. Made a build feed off of it. Just for my own like piddle. I don't even like develop it or nothing.
Do you know what I'm seeing here? I'm thinking, just going off what you're just saying there, Jose. I see a lot of the every week I look at all of the socials, including Facebook and all that, and there is a load of Facebook groups out there who are crying out. There's questions all day long, crying out for tutorials on modding, and I always see the same 3 or 4 messages all the time in all the groups, and it is, can someone please show me how to either add this into a server or sort out a kill feed or blah blah blah. Maybe you should put some of those tutorials out to the Facebook community. I think you'll do really well on that. Really well.
Well, I don't know if you've heard it's called DayZ Code Support, free support group.
Yep.
Right. No, I've not heard that.
They're
like
a massive
5,000 people,
fanboy group
but
of Don Sibley's at first. Like he was the first one to sort of crack it, and now the group's actually quite good. And,
that's actually where I came from.
Yeah.
Right.
I was in there under my government name or my parent given name or birth name, whatever the masses would like to call that shit. Whatever, like when the cop asked for that name, like yeah, my Shibo name, like
his name ain't Josie.
5 years ago or something, like I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago or something, like that's where I started. And then as I started putting projects out, the messages started stacking up, and I was like, let's put the gamer tag as that, and like let's swap that around a little bit. And then Paul asked me to
set yourself up a page, people. If you're gonna do anything on Facebook, set yourself up a page. It's a bit frustrating having to switch between profiles, but post as your page as much as possible.
Oh yeah.
Now you touched on something that I want to go back to a bit, because I've fallen for these myself as well. But one of the reasons why you started doing what you're doing is because there was a lot of people out there scamming people with exorbitant fees to do relatively basic stuff.
Well, like, I mean, some people were just straight scamming, like, saying, "Hey, oh yeah, we'll build your whole server, man. $15, we got you." Like, you shitting me? You got 80 hours like that? Like, I mean, legitimately, like, I don't know, you probably shit a server out in like a day nowadays. Well, I've shot one out overnight, but yeah, people were just making all these promises for bullshit and then just running off with people's money. And many of the discords we've gotten together here and there and like ban certain people, announced, hey, avoid these people. And it's calmed down now. Like it ain't really that bad now. There's still people out there charging for either stolen work or garbage. Stolen work happens a lot. Like if you're gonna share your shit, like people are gonna rip it off. Like it's gonna happen. Like it's part of it.
To me.
And I get messages a lot, and it'll be from people that I've known for a few years, just through the hobby, like recognize their name type shit. And they'll be like, hey man, this dude's over here posting my shit for sale. And it's like, I gotta positively explain to those people, like, hey, sorry, there's nothing I can really do about that. Like, what do you want me to do? Like, call their 911. Hey man, like, not much I can really do about it. But like, I try to make them understand, like, if you're gonna share some shit, it's gonna happen. People are gonna steal the shit. People are gonna try to profit off shit. People are gonna try to like get
you
your
give something for
breadcrumbs.
free. There's going to be someone who will
Oh, yeah.
take it and find someone who doesn't know they can get it for free and sell it. And there's even like here in Australia, there's what is it to get an ABN, an Australian business number. It's a free service that you can do through the government. But when you go to Google and you type it in, the first things that pop up are those sponsored posts where they're basically they'll do it for you and you've got to pay for it. And it's like, what? It's a free thing. It's the same process basically, but instead of doing it, it's
because you can't be asked to fucking do it.
And it's one of the reasons why we do this show, Josie, is to try to share information with people because if someone doesn't know, you can't blame them for paying for something that they could have got for free. There'll be some mean bastards out there who'll go, "Oh, you're a fucking idiot, man. You should just look." But if you don't know where to look, and that's the problem with DayZ. The knowledge is scattered fucking everywhere across the internet in hundreds of Discords and YouTube channels and that. It's so hard to find everything out.
There's for the console world, there is, I mean, my tutorials, Scales tutorials, Don's tutorials, Bahal Shed is just, if you uncollapse all of Bahal Shed's information's in there, like he's literally touched on just about every part of DayZ, as you could imagine, like as far as like the mission files go. As far as like getting into the scripting and getting into, I mean, retexture and stuff, that stuff's easy to find. Sparkle's got videos like that. Porting in models, there's videos for stuff like that. But when you get into the like heavy scripting of like particles and sound effects for crashes, like the way the heli has the sound on it when it crashes, like there's not much out there. And the most helpful place for any of this shit is probably the Infusion Discord, in my opinion. Like, if you want to go to like, I don't know, if I need a quieter atmosphere, y'all's Discord actually is very helpful. Very knowledgeable people, like all in one spot. Like the main ones anyway that I consider like the gurus. But I try not to bother people too much. So like when I go there, I'll ask them like, hey, what files do I need to look at, or where can I find this information? I don't ask them for the answer, hey, can someone fix this? Or hey, look at this, what did I do wrong? Everybody hates that guy, and I don't want to be that guy. So like, if you're out there and you're in the G code and you come in there and you're like, hey, take a look at, like, dude, there's so much shit. Learn this shit. Learn how to fix your shit. Take a look at the shit. Like, that's like, don't be that guy. But like, learn some shit. So like, I'll go in there and I ask like, where can I find this information? And like, somebody will end up telling me within like a day, and like, you just go down the rabbit hole of like fishing it out. And I actually made a couple of recent mods, added some tanks and shit like that that have their own crash sounds. So like from 3,000 meters, you hear those sounds instead of the heli crash. Because on console, you're really limited. You got to like proxy a helicopter under an object and call that object in. So the proto tells the heli to be under here to call the sound, so you get some smoke, and you got to like jump through hoops on console to like.
It's amazing some of the stuff that people are doing. I saw. Get your bingo cards ready, folks. But the classic airdrop sort of thing. But the mod that DayZ Down Under had, sometimes that plane would actually be crashing, and they set it up once for me, and it literally crashed within 100 meters or so of me, and it was one of the most impressive things I've seen in DayZ. It was a little bit janky. because they're doing this stuff without access to the the in-depth code behind the game, but using the tools they were able to do. I watched this C-130 type plane just come careering down. It hit the ground, made this massive explosion, and not only that, but it destroyed trees that were around there as well. All the trees fell over, and it was one of the coolest
Oh yeah,
animations
I've
I've
seen that.
seen. And I was just
Yeah.
like, wow, wow, that was so
Now,
fucking
is that
good.
like a mod that actually does that, or like
Yep,
they
it's a mod.
cinematically made that happen?
No, it was
Oh
a mod.
wow!
It happened in
Yeah.
game, live in game, because they were having problems with the crashes and that, and they wanted to do it. So yeah, I think it was Funk Pedal did it, and I was just like, oh my dear lord, that was the most awesome fucking. Hearing a chopper crash off in the distance was one
Oh
thing.
yeah!
Seeing the
Oh yeah!
plane actually crash into the ground was
Mm.
unbelievable.
I've
Yeah,
added
it's crazy shit.
I got plane crash sounds, tank sounds.
Yep.
I added devil ritual shit to the bonfire with AJ's creature mix. I retextured some of his creatures and rescaled some of his little demons and stuff, and added the particles, and looked up a weird chant mantra and got that playing on the priest zombie and shit. Like it's
I saw that video. That one was pretty cool.
that one. You sitting here listening to that shit, and the missus walks in on you, and you're just like, I'm watching porn. I swear, like you don't want to be looking up that shit. Like Jesus.
That one. Where is? I'm looking for it now. Because that was so
Wait.
cool. The sound,
What, the mod?
the sound that was playing. It was kind of creepy. You could just imagine someone.
Oh, dude, I had that shit on like 80% volume, fucking like with the bass up and shit. Like that shit, you'll sink into that, man. Like the weird mantras and shit. Like they're just relaxation chants and shit like that.
Hey, Josie, I just seen your left arm, mate. Let's have a look at that Batman tattoo.
Oh no, that's janky as that's some garbage, man. That was,
I just seen it.
Homie did that in the kitchen like 15 years ago or something.
Yeah, I love that, mate. Do you play the guitar by any chance, mate?
Nah, I actually bought the case to carry my lunch in to look cool, and that just came with it.
Yeah, fair play.
So, it was like a win for me.
I was gonna say, if you plans to tune in a minute, there you go. Get it?
Nah, that ain't gonna happen. But yeah, I started playing when I was like 12. I started playing piano when I was like 6. Mom made me take lessons, all that dumb shit. So like, I don't know, just kind of done music my whole life. I got the keyboard, the beat pad. I make my own beats for my videos because like copyright issue. After I got partnered on YouTube, like
yes,
I needed my own music, so I was like, I'll just like, and again music my whole life, so I was like, why not just fucking? I just got the modules to make it work on my PC now.
You see, that's cool. That is having the ability, the musical ability to create your own music on your video, man. That's a different level.
Like when I started all this, I didn't know how to make a thumbnail. I didn't know how to make a digital art. I didn't know how to make a GIF. I didn't know how to remove a background. I didn't know what GIMP was. I didn't know how to like make crazy text to fonts. I didn't know that you couldn't see it on a cell phone. Like I didn't know, like
there's in Pulp Fiction a GIMP.
Like the knockoff Photoshop. I won't even call it knockoff Photoshop. It's its own thing. It does its own things. But I don't know. Everything I've had to find free resources for everything, because if I'm going to teach somebody how to do something or show someone how to do something, it's got to be on a resource that they can use. I can't be like, hey man, check this tool out and look how I can use this. Oh yeah, you got to pay $9.99 for that. I can't expect fucking Joe Blow little dipshit over here to fucking, hey mommy, I need $12 so I can learn how. That's not gonna fucking happen, and that doesn't benefit me none either. So it's like fucking, I don't want to do that. So everything I had to do, I had to learn and source out or find or make free resources or something to like do what we do.
Yep.
And then that way, because like if you're gonna teach somebody how to do something, they got to be able to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
One
mate,
that
absolutely.
I push a lot of people to, if you're not very artistic, I pushed Cobra to it. That reminds me, I've got to show you the text thing in that.
But, mate, I'm shit at that.
There's a lot of people who use Photoshop, and they could use it and be amazing with it. But then you get the more boomer mentality people like me and Cobra And my missus put me onto a website called Canva, and you can use a lot of that for free. And I've ended up purchasing the pro plan for it, but it's simple for enabling me to do basic editing. I could even do shorts and stuff in there without having to fire up Adobe Premiere, which I can use, but I know I'm not using anywhere near its max. But when people ask about it, what's a good editing software, I point them to DaVinci Free. I've never used it, but I've only ever heard good things about it. I'm Adobe. I'm 50 years old, so I don't really want to have to learn a whole new program. I can use Adobe, and yeah, they're rorting me with their monthly fucking fee that they do nowadays. But that seems to be, what is it? Even cars are
I've
selling
never
monthly
used
plans.
it.
Oh, mate, I
I've
tell you what.
never even used any Photoshop or none of
Christ.
that.
And I
But it
always
took me a
point out
year.
that Jam Jar back in the day used to use Windows Movie Maker to do all of his editing. Most of the other guys were
I'm
doing
using
either.
Photos Legacy now. Like the only thing I've ever used is the program that came with the PC, the Photos Legacy.
Yep.
It's made every single video I've ever, all 300 and some whatever waste of hours. Fucking Photos Legacy and GIMP.
Yep.
Everything was free. I used some other things like Capwing, Placeit, and some other websites, but after like a year of loyal use to Capwing, if you're out there, they started watermarking their shit.
Yeah.
I figured out how to get rid of that and ways around that. Sorry, guys. But so I had to stop using that one. It fucked the GIFs up. But yeah, they were, I guess, a new website when I started using them or something. I guess after a certain amount of bandwidth or some shit, they're just like, no, you got to start like paying for it or watermarked it or something. So that's when I found GIMP. And GIMP pretty much, I'm slowly starting to learn animated textures with it, but that's a pain in the ass.
I'll tell you what, mate, learning Adobe Premiere Pro a year and a half ago was the best thing I ever did, but
I feel like it'd take a year and a half.
Mate, I'll tell you, there's so much shit I learn still every day, you know what I mean? But Boyd is right, though. That cost me £52, I think, a month, something like that.
Exactly. And I could never teach anybody how to do anything with it through at least the G code anyway, because like that,
most of them aren't going to be able to afford that.
Yeah, well, like it's not like G code stands for like free or anything, but like if someone wants to pay me for my time, like I'll graciously accept at least $5 more than what I make at the day job to waste my day off fucking doing it for them. But that doesn't happen too often. But other than that, like I don't want to start using shit that costs money, because then I have to, it potentially changes and shifts how I teach other things. Like it's, I've been
I think
told
it's good to let people know that there are some high quality, and explain to them what this will do if you were to get Adobe or whatever a more professional program is. But at the same time, you don't need to go batshit crazy. I see that there's the Frugal Streamer, I think his channel is called, and even Gail Level, who did the intro for my Spotlight, did the Running Man's intro. An amazing content creator coach, French guy, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. But he constantly says, and he loves his gadgets and gimmicks and all the rest of it. But he says you don't need to. All you need to do is just get the most basic stuff, because it doesn't matter whether you've got the Stream Deck XL, the Elgato key lights. If you focus on the basics, the rest of that stuff can come later. You don't need to go all in. Don't go crazy, especially when you're starting off, because you can it could be a money sink. I just got a new Elgato keyboard, but Corsair keyboard, because my other one broke last week on the show. But I use the keyboard a lot, so it's brilliant.
Dude, this show is claiming a lot of equipment this past month because it cost me a monitor to hang this fucking light on it today. All this shit happened piece by piece over the last, like I say, about 5 years ago. I got, pushing 6 years ago, got an Xbox, ended up getting a monitor, had a desk, upgraded from there, another desk, got a laptop, had the monitor, boom, laptop, second monitor, kind of like built itself. Then upgraded to the PC, second monitor, boom, like laptop, tripled it up. Like, I don't know, it just slowly built itself, I guess, like piece by piece.
So how do you
What do you
find
do
the
the right way?
console community with supporting what you do, mate?
What's that again?
How do you find the console community with supporting what you do?
I mean, they're I don't really know. They comment, likes, all that stuff, but most of the time they're not really like they're not active unless they like need something. So it's like you don't even like I don't even know.
Thirsty for this
Like
stuff.
out of 5,000 people, you might see like 200 names regularly, but like the rest of them, like I guess they're just dormantly there, like learning and shit. Like I mean, the information's there, so like you don't really see all the names. The numbers are there, but like I don't know, you really don't know them. Some of them are just there, like I guess give you the thumbs up here and there, but like yeah, I mean it's pretty cool. Like we never thought it would grow. I mean, the YouTube when I started, I was like, hell yeah, 4 subscribers, hell yeah, 12 subscribers. That's cool. Like you don't think it's gonna go anywhere. Like you're like show your cousin this fucking little thing you did. Like, hey man, check this bullshit out. Like, and it starts with something. You know what I'm saying? It starts with some shit like that.
Yeah.
But like
5,000.
I don't like I can't even find words to explain. Like it's weird to like go from like just this fucking little nerdy gamer dude to like people asking you questions about how to do some shit that I didn't even know 2 years ago type shit. Like it's a weird vibe. It's a weird feeling. It's cool, but like I never even knew I know half the shit that's accumulated. But
No, I didn't mean to share that one.
That might be Boydie's dodginess. Hold on. Does that come with a fucking warning, Boydie? That or what? What's he trying to show me?
Discord. And like he's got 5,300 people in there, and just the sheer volume.
I don't have that. They have that. That's the like. I'm just some dude, man. The community is the community. Like I don't know. I look at it different. I guess like I don't have those people. Like they just are a collection of themselves. I guess I don't know how to explain it. Weird.
Diverse the information in here is. You know, you've got
There's a lot of
add-ons, Livonia add-ons, member XML files, member JSON files, and
dude, their files shit on our work like all day. Like the stuff these people do. Like Demon Child's got some crazy shit going on right now.
And then there's your partners area: King of Lobar, good bloke; Greedy Peasant, good bloke; Blacklist Arcade.
Dude, Alivar is part of what inspired me to want to do YouTube as well, to be honest. Like he like seeing like with little overlays with the words and little like scenic clips and shit. And I was like, man, I want to do that. It looked like honestly it looked fun. Like it looked cool. Like I don't know. Kind of started like going into that direction with my filming as well. Like
It's great to see stuff like this, isn't it, Cobra?
Oh no, absolutely, mate. Did you get my message I've just sent you?
I'm just looking at it now.
Yeah, I think it's gone now, mate.
It should be gone now because I've turned that off. But yeah,
Echo, that's all. Yeah, we're good.
Hearing that, but yeah, no, keep doing what you're doing, Josie. It's absolutely awesome. Seeing, and just finding more and more. Every time I turn around, Cobra, it just seems like I'm finding something else out there that we need to get on to showcase, to show people the assets, the help, the tools, the guides, the resources that are out there to help you if you're interested in getting into this stuff. Because Josie, do you have a background in computers, or you just saw this shit, liked it, and went, I'm gonna learn more?
Like HTML from MySpace in the early 2000s, like that little bit of bullshit. But other than that, not really.
You didn't have a job doing coding, or
nah. Dad back in the day had like little thing when DOS was like so cool and 3.1 was just coming out. Like Dad had a little computer thing going on. Like I learned how to do a couple basic command prompts that still fucking work today because Windows is fucking same. But I don't know, not really. Like just the XML, like watching Scale and Don Sibley basically like learning, like filling the gaps that I couldn't figure out. Like I say, like I don't go looking for the answers. Like I didn't go seeking everything. Like, oh, I didn't know how to do this. Let me Google, how do I do this? Like I was never that dude. And even like I say on Fusion, I don't go in there asking like, hey, somebody fix this. Hey, what's the answer? Hey, how do I 100% do this? I'm like, hey, where do I need to look to find this information? Hey, where do I need to go study for this? Hey, does anybody have an example I can study of this? Something like that, so I can go down and figure out how it works, like the way my brain wants to see it and make it work. And that's how I create what I create. Like, fucking with a couple of these light mods that had like, I couldn't figure out how the scripted light base worked. So I found one that allowed you to repack it. So I was like, all right, cool. Let me unpack it. Looked at it and I was like, then I figured it out. Because by looking in the vanilla, every time they had something that used one, it had the little insert that referenced the scripted light base. And I was like, and then you plug the holes in and boom, light. And I put cop lights on cop cars, like train lights blinking on trains. Got into it for like a couple weeks. But like, yeah, I don't know, like whatever I'm like fucking with, it'll spark something else to do that sparks something else to do. And like, I don't know what I'm doing. I got to figure it out as I go, I guess.
But this is the great thing about the modding community, isn't it? Without them, the game wouldn't probably has been, I would say lasted, but it would have lasted. But I mean, it wouldn't have been as eventful. It's definitely held the game together with all this new stuff constantly being churned out on the modded side. So yeah, I've some of the new mods that come out now are just crazy stuff. I mean, I was on a server yesterday, and I don't like it coming away completely from what DayZ's about, but some of the mods are cool. It just so happened that this server was completely not DayZ anymore. But you know, there is some great new stuff out there. So and there always is. That's the thing. There's always new mods every month coming out, isn't there? Just craziness.
Yeah, and like, you know, DayZ has its core game, which it is that Soviet, era, Eastern European style, but it's also a blank canvas that can allow people to reinvent it. As we've seen with some, you know, we've got jungle maps, we've got that Chinese anime server that they had where the characters are all like from manga or whatever. I don't know. It was one of the most bizarre things I've ever seen, but kudos to them. You know, play DayZ how you want, do what you want with it, and yeah, like, you know, Hunter Z's crocodile mod. Yeah, you're not going to find crocodiles in Eastern Europe, but it's absolutely amazing that, you know, it's now finished and it can be added to servers. And I could just imagine someone going for a swim and a bloody crocodile coming at them for the first time, and they don't know that mod's on the server. They're going to absolutely shit themselves.
Without a doubt, mate. Jesus, I found bloody Bigfoot on Iceland map the other day. And that scared the shit out of me. I think I was live at the time, and I just got into a military, and I looked around, and I was like, I can hear a player. So I turned the gun around. There's this fucking big thing running at me. I was like, oh, shit. But it scared the shit out of me. But even that's quite an interesting mod as well.
I've heard about it. I haven't seen it yet. I've caught a few streams, but...
Mate, if you want to see it, let me know later. I will send you my short I did with it on. You can see it. It's fucking bad.
Yeah, I found a couple models of aliens that I wanted to try to put in. Learning weight painting has been my recent biggest nemesis that there is. That is, I don't know if you ever messed with that, but trying to put a creature into DayZ is a pain in the ass.
Oh, I bet it is.
I mean, there's someone out there now that's like, oh, that shit's easy. Like, yeah, before you know it, though, you don't know it. Like, but once you know it, it's kind of like all this stuff. Like, once you know this stuff, it's like, like, it's
even
duh,
doing what we're sharing on the stream now. Like, I got to watch Hunter and Windstride talking about, you know, the dead crocodile skin, the full piece of leather and that, how to pick it up and move it around. You know, you skin a crocodile, that's a big bloody skin. So they had to modify the log technique of how you pick it up
over your shoulder thing. Is that? I take it that is not It's not cut up. That's not the skin. That's the whole thing.
That's the whole skin.
Yeah.
And then you've got
That is what it comes out as. Yeah.
the pieces once you cut it up, because you can. I'm not going to say what there is, but there are some pretty cool items that he's added, which is where we got Windstride in to help make those models. But all I will say
That's
is, as an
crazy.
Australian, I was very, very happy that Hunter Z wanted these items added. So I can't wait to get on a server that has them and cut it up and get the old leather sewing kit out and make a couple of these really cool custom items. That's not a knife. This is a knife.
I got a request, yo. We got some crocodile skin boots. Like, dude, if you're out there, like, I mean, you kind of got them now, man. Like, what's up?
that might be
And the
something we
hat,
have
dude,
to-
and
we
the
have to hit
hat,
him up
man.
with.
Come on.
There is a hat. There is a hat. But,
All right, fair. There we
yeah,
go.
it's a special hat, which is
and a custom Bowie knife, like a big old custom Bowie knife.
Proper
That's
Crocodile
not a
Dundee
knife,
style.
This is a knife.
Let the internet, like a big Bowie knife. Now let the internet do what they want.
Now, I realized something. I saw a post on Facebook. There was a guy selling a Lada Neva here in Brisbane, in Australia. Now, the Lada Neva is the car that the Ada is based on. And it sent me down a bit of a rabbit hole. And for years, we have shit on DayZ that when you have a crash in a car in the game, it pretty much used to kill you almost instantly, or it really messes you up. I ended up checking out a bit of information about the Lada Neva, and what I found was absolutely hilarious. It's the longest running car. I think it's changed now. That pretty much was just running in the same configuration it had for years, and they did a safety test on it.
A 0, wouldn't it?
There we go. I've just found it. This is on the Wikipedia page, and this is from a Russian safety agency.
Let me see what it's saying.
In 2002, the Lada Neva was awarded 0 stars out of a possible 4 by the Russian RCAP Safety Assessment Program. The reviewer noted that the very rugged body of the car is the only positive aspect in terms of safety. During the safety test, the passenger dummy was hit by the glove compartment hard enough to risk traumatic brain injury. The reviewers noted that they did not expect a high rating and that the result was natural, as it would be naive to believe that a 30-year-old design complies with modern requirements for passive safety. They added that a complete modernization of the car would be required to comply with modern safety standards. But all I could think of at the time was, so maybe they have actually had the car correct to the real specs all this time, and we've been complaining.
Might have been going for realism the whole time.
Well, I'll tell you what. Did you see the video of that this week that came out where, again, it was in Russia, the same vehicle was driven off the top of an apartment?
No.
Did you? None of you have seen it? Right. So this vehicle, some crazy dude was sat in it. Now we're talking high rise, like you would.
No. You've got to find this video.
I've got it somewhere, and I will send it to you. It's doing the rounds on TikTok right now. I saw it this morning again, right? And it is the Ada. They've fucking driven it off the top of apartment blocks. The guy's in it, and it was in between 2 apartment blocks. It hits the first apartment blocks. They tried to jump over on a ramp from one apartment block to the other. Now, it's got no lift on it, so when it went out the ramp, it literally just nosedived, hit the second apartment block. But it bounced off, left, right, off of both blocks, landed on the floor, and the car was not messed up. It didn't take significant damage. And the guy got out and walked away from it. So it might be shit, but it's built like a tank.
Yeah.
That's the difference. So,
like, I swear, I saw this one for sale here, and I was like, if I was a rich man and I had, 6-figure, 7-figure bank account, I'd be calling this guy up. It's a shit box. But it was about $2,000. He said he's got spare parts, and then it was like, I would probably buy it. It actually looks like it'd be a fun car to own, but no, I've got more important things
A
to be
little bit of
spending money
lift, put
on.
some bigger tires on that thing. Shit.
Yeah, the tires were one of the
Ship one
nicest
over
parts
here,
of it.
man. Shit.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's just a
again,
fucking
six
exhaust.
have the expendable fundage. Like, hell yeah, one of them things would be dope, jacked up.
Oh,
Wheels
mate,
on or
it would
something.
be so freaking awesome. But yeah, it was absolutely amazing. I'm just trying to see if I could find it actually because I sent it to my son.
I'm gonna find that link for that. See if I can get it up now. Hold on. While you're searching that, I'll search Facebook for this link and TikTok. Hold on.
Seen a couple of videos of some. One dude had one like so slammed on the ground, like the wheels were coming up through the hood or some shit like that.
Here we go.
Yeah,
I just
probably-
found it.
Which one?
The,
Your one or mine?
1997 Lada Neva.
Ah, there you go.
And as soon as I saw it, it was just like, oh my god.
Shit, it's fucking crisp.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like,
maybe some headlights.
It's got some serious rust issues as well, as you'll see as you get closer. You know, there's a lot of rust starting to come in there, and the
I mean, you're not
interior-
going to SEMA with the thing. You're just
Yeah,
trying to go
Yeah.
beat around in the bush.
yeah. For a good paddock beater, we call them here in Australia. Bush buggy, whatever. Should probably be bloody awesome. Be so much
A
fun.
bush buggy. Nice.
And I just wish it
I
was in
think
one
they
of the more
look
traditional
awesome. Like,
colours.
I spray paint.
But yeah, you wouldn't see these come up often here in Australia. But yeah, $2,000. If you've got the money laying around and you live in Australia, folks, 1997 Lada Neva for sale. He did have it at $3,000.
No
It's
vehicle
down to
advertisements
$2,000 now.
now.
So
Start auctioning cars.
yeah, I'm getting a cut. But yeah, no, that would be. I think a lot of DayZ fans would love that. But yeah, what else did we have through the week? Now, there's actually been a lot of people talking. Josie, I'll go to you first on this one, mate. There's a lot of
Oh,
people
shit.
talking at the
Yes.
moment about these so-called vanilla servers that have mod lists of 60 mods or so on the server. What do you think about that, Josie?
I think that if you want to play vanilla, that you don't click the community tab. Simple as that. Like if you click that community tab, I don't give a fuck what that title says. That means nothing.
Yeah.
If they got community online tools, VPP, or insert other admin tool here, any of that shit, like, nah, we're no longer vanilla, period. No longer vanilla there.
I think it's
So-
vanilla enhanced or something like that is probably a better yeah. You're talking. I get where some of them are coming from, Cobra, where they're enhancing what they think vanilla DayZ should be, but I kind of agree with what Josie said, Cobra, that vanilla is vanilla. Everything else is modded DayZ.
I think no, I completely agree, but I think the situation is a lot more simpler than that. I think a lot of the people that go to community servers for vanilla plus or vanilla type experiences because they've had a bad experience with some form of cheat or hacker or something like that. That's the only reason really that they're playing the same game, but only where there's an admin available. Because let's face it, on a lot of these servers, like basically vanilla and stuff like that, you will find maybe a code lock. You'll have a couple of modded little bits and pieces. The rest of it is the same original game. So, all right, a code lock is a bit of a quality of life, I suppose, a digital one rather than the pain in the ass.
Like
3 and
minor
4
little
dials.
tweaks here and there.
Yeah,
like,
exactly, exactly. But a lot of people I speak to, the reason they go to modded was because what they're saying is, and this is a different conversation, but we spoke about this last week. But what they're saying is because they don't want to run the risk of running into a hacker or cheater.
Yep. That's the big issue,
So-
Josie.
I mean,
There's just
that's fair.
console's not as bad. You get the exploiters or the glitches with console, but PC, yeah, Yeah, and well, we talked about this a couple of weeks back or last week,
I
Josie.
didn't even
But
think about it like
one
that.
one good, I hate to say the word good, but one good hacker can fuck a region, can fuck a whole community. Official server, because that one person, the impact he can have is on every single player on that server. So it could be an 80 of 80 server, and he can mess with every single person. So it's not, if you were to say, oh, it's only 1 in 80, 1 in 1,000, that one person can switch between servers and make life for a nightmare for every person. So whilst it might not be as prevalent as some think, it still kind of is, because one person can make life a nightmare. Because it's not like EFT or these games where you launch a session and then that session closes and you go to another one. These servers are live and permanent. So he can really mess things up, see bases, destroy them, and steal stuff, and just ruin the fun for everyone.
Right. I guess I don't really see things from that point. Like I don't consider myself a gamer. Like I really don't even play the game that much anymore. But I guess I never even thought about it like that. Like changing up like you say, quality of life, some necessity style mods here and there.
Yeah.
Like to kind of like safeguard some situations and whatnot. Like, yeah, spice it up just a little bit. But also even like I've seen the argument had for the console community specifically, even like, oh, it's not vanilla. You added some types in that, some extra classes into there and whatnot. Like, I feel like as far as even especially console goes, anything you can do within those XMLs and the minimal JSON stuff that they allow y'all to have, like anything you pretty much do other than putting a big old trader full of loot is still considered semi-vanilla. Because like if it's within those vanilla files, like you want to add a hockey stick in, like, all right, it's in the core files, it's not in the actual vanilla types or something like that, but like in the core, it's in the vanilla game nonetheless still. And if it's allowed, like the console community even has access, like it still pulls it through their XMLs. Feel like it's fair game, shit like that.
Yeah.
It's not like they're finding hidden tanks in there and shit and bazookas.
Yeah, but I really enjoy those vanilla enhanced, vanilla plus, whatever you want to call it, vanilla light modded servers. I don't play official that much, just because there's a lot of things I like to have that make the game a bit harder or a bit more different. I'm actually playing a bit of a softer server by my standards. No cock and ball torture. DayZ at the moment. And I'm thoroughly enjoying myself just playing something a bit more lighthearted and a bit easier. And it's still DayZ. It's just a different style of DayZ. And but official.
I got a server build in the works. It's I don't know if you've seen some of those mods, like pretty much everything I've ever built is on it. Right now it's set up for like a Northwest Airfield deathmatch or whatever. It's only 4 slots, like a test server or whatever, but like I've expanded the slots some, it just never was successful. Like again, I have a community full of people who have communities. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they're looking to learn to do tricks for their servers. Like, doesn't really make sense for me to really host. But I got these weird munchies on there and shit, like, and drinks and stuff that have like abilities. You can get drunk. If you get too drunk, you'll like
your video.
pass out.
I got drunk and blacked out. And
yeah, bro.
Yeah.
I was tweaking with that till like 7 this morning. Like I didn't even get up till like an hour before I had to be on here. But yeah, I was up all night just messing with that shit. Like it's almost there. It's on the server, but I mean I haven't put the stuff into the economy, so to speak. But it's my testing grounds. But once I get that up and running, man, you might have to give that a go. I'm thinking about doing something again. If I'm gonna like, it's gonna be survivalish, but I want some memes in there too. Like, I don't like playing certain. Like, I want to be survival, and I don't want to be able to go to a trader or be somebody else that's played the server for 2 years, be able to go to a trader and just buy what they want to shoot me. You know what I'm saying? Oh shit, the beast of whom I don't know if the mic's picking that up or not. But little crocodiles. But I want to make like Like, man, I've learned the trick of teleporting, I guess, and I want to make some weird like teleportation to a trader or something. Make it like you gotta like the Easter egg, I guess you could say. Like I've been watching a lot of streamers. This one dude, Gringo Smoker, he's been funny dude to watch. Awesome dude if you ever just messing around, need someone to watch. He's on in the mornings, but he goes for the Easter eggs of all these different maps. Like, and he plays pretty high pop ones, medium pops. Like, he goes for the PvP, but he tries to conquer the Easter eggs and shit. And it's awesome seeing what all these servers have done with that. So, like, coming from console, I've only messed with pretty much Chernarus for like several years. So I want to try to like bring some Easter eggs to that with like the concept of teleporting and the fact that there's water beyond your wildest dreams out there that turn into other islands. And it's like, wouldn't be hard to like put a little spawn point there and do something weird with it or something.
There are some
like,
interesting things involving that. I know Rearmed have that with their trader. You teleport into the trader and
Yeah, I
it's
said,
kind of like a safe
stuff like
zone.
that. Like something a little different. Like if you're gonna go, I don't know, if you're gonna go that route, like make it interesting, I guess.
Well, you've
Something like
even got
that, like
this
an
mod
Easter
here that
egg.
I've got up on the screen at the moment. Hunter
Yeah,
shared
what's
this
that?
one with me. It was started by Demon Forge back in the day, but he lost a desire or whatever, and apparently a bunch of people worked on it
Oh,
together,
snap. I
and
did see that the other day.
it is underground bases.
Now I really love this, and I'll tell you why. You can put this pretty much well. You can't put it anywhere near a wall or certain areas around one, but you can hide this shit anywhere.
Fires.
And if you put a camo net over it,
Welcome to another video.
that's some very well hidden
As
stuff
the
in
title
a
suggests,
bit of a
today we're going to be
foresty type area.
brand new underground base.
And you can
He
upgrade
slowly
it to
had a
level 3.
helicopter in the background there.
You go through
Yeah.
different stages that you can build. So there's evident
And it's really easy to make.
concrete some areas.
The only
but,
problem
you will
is
receive a
the actual
prompt
animation for
when,
it takes a
looking
while.
at places to where you can dig
We could change
base.
that, couldn't we?
You can see on the
Yeah,
Or was that the goal?
next to the show
Yeah, I think that's what the goal was, because in a minute you'll see him dig the base and you'll see that this
Now,
takes
is going to take a
ages.
while, so
Like, as you
might
can see, the
speed this
circle's
up.
only just starting to fill the first
Oh,
little.
damn.
That's probably
Does it-
configurable in the setup files.
Yeah,
depending
no
on
doubt.
if you've got an easier
So,
server.
as you can see, we've now finished digging our big huge hole. And
I mean, you can imagine trying to do that. I think it's 2 minutes in total it takes to dig that.
The next stage. Now, if we take
Now, if you're doing that on a high pop active server,
Yeah, you're in deep
oh
shit.
man, you're sweating.
2 sets
Yeah.
Like unless you got some of your homies like watching your back or something, like you're sweating doing that one.
Yeah. But the nice thing is, when you upgrade it, so you need sheet metal to upgrade to tier 2, but to tier 3, once you've got bricks, it looks so much bigger and better, doesn't it? I take it you both watched the whole video.
About
Actually, I just seen it on the Steam page. Like I'm always fishing through there, seeing what's going on.
Look at the difference on this, right? So this is, I think this is about to be tier 2 upgrade. When it upgrades to tier 3, look at the difference of the actual space and the lighting. Everything is so good.
We'll go 10, 20, 30.
So I think this is just trying to upgrade to tier 2.
6 logs.
He's got bloody spawn in the metal and all that kind of shit. Yeah.
6. And we're going to need some sheet metal.
So tier 1 is just a little box underground. Tier 2 is a little bit bigger with metal, and tier 3 is massive concrete.
That should be 20 there.
Would be a simple way to like hide your base though.
Well,
Like
if you can put a camo net on top of it, on top of the hatch.
Tier 2.
Now, the only thing that's messed up on this is when you leave and enter the base. So when you leave the base, it chucks you up in the air.
There you go, complete upgrade.
And you know, like you're falling through the map, you get that animation and it drops you just outside the main door, main entrance.
It's going to take about a minute.
But
so it needs a few tweaks probably. But
yeah,
like,
yeah.
Takes
So
roughly
that's
about-
tier 2, right? So watch the tier 3 when it comes up.
Okay.
So look at the
so
difference, right?
here
So
we are.
tier 2, it's a little bit bigger. You've got a bit of sheet metal there
Takes
everywhere.
roughly about
Tier 3 though
2
is
minutes to
different
cycle,
level.
But you can see you've increased the amount of space that you've got.
The light with the ambience is like what sells this.
To fit quite a
Yeah,
bit
yeah,
here. Now,
yeah.
Like,
Well, you
like
got-
it,
there we go.
yeah. If you just had the standard light coming in from the map or whatever, like it wouldn't.
No, I
Yeah.
agree. So
Like
what
it's those details.
And what he's done is you have to have a gas cylinder and a light source to fit it to then hang it. But look at this. Look at the difference in this. This is. I love this. I'm going to try this out as soon as I find a server with it on it. This next bit is great
Finger's starting to ache a bit, but I'll see you on the other
when
side.
it's finally bloody built.
That's depending on the server. Like if you've got a trader server where you can go and buy all this stuff, it's going to be easy
Yeah,
to do.
easy,
But-
easy.
And there you
The
have
server
it.
I'm playing on at the
If you
moment.
gotta go farming that shit.
Yeah.
Check that out. Check this
Oh,
out.
bam! Just got concrete igloo up in here.
Better light
Yeah, and then you
That's
can open
pretty
the
dope,
door.
man.
gas canister.
It's quite big. It's like a vault, isn't it? A proper vault.
There you have it.
When he
Yeah.
goes out, there's another
It's a
room
little
here.
bunker.
Build
Yeah.
and
There's a little room when he
upgrade
goes to the door,
your
though.
underground base
Another little room.
using the new
So you could probably
underground bases
build, if you've
mod.
got more doors or something mod-wise, you could probably build another door there, look.
This is out
And then you run through here.
to our
But this is the dodgy bit. Watch this.
ladder.
Whenever you exit the base, that doesn't work. But when you exit the base,
It'd be nice if that switch was.
it will show you the under map.
We can't have it all.
Look, that's what happens.
You're gonna get this.
And then you end up
because
outside.
The way this mod is.
He just needs to make some type of loading screen
underground.
animation. So I mean, I don't know how any of that works. I'm not even gonna pretend to know that level of scripting. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like the way you would
Yeah.
have a cutscene or something. There's got to be a
And
way to like
this
implement.
one's become
Nice.
basically
You know,
a
but,
community
let's get a little
contribution mod that
more
they've
buff.
gotten together
Yeah,
to
that's-
finish because they love the
nice
idea
and
of it.
specifically
And
into the
I'm
spot.
certain someone
Oh,
will probably come up with
seclusion.
a way
Like
to
you don't have
improve
this
it.
big towers or nothing. Like you're in the.
Yeah.
You still got room. Like a few people could have several. You know, little stashes
Yeah,
amongst
yeah,
the four,
Easy
four squad, 5 people.
So
I mean,
I'll put
how good is that?
enjoy.
I'll put this
Oh,
one
pair
in the
that
chat.
with like much stuff mod or something like that has like
Yeah.
lockers and all those things in there too.
Yep.
Yeah.
If you enjoyed this
That's
video,
going to be. Imagine that
usual
in the
things
middle
like scrubber
of
swords,
nowhere,
type, all that
right
jazz.
on Cherno,
And,
right up
hopefully
north,
I'll be coming
Tizzy
back with
Forest.
a new
Half
tutorial video.
between 2 trees in the middle of a farm field or something.
Yeah.
It
That is
just
good.
just gives you the option to not have to lock down a feature or build a above ground base. You can make something, and if someone finds it, there's a drawback to it depending on how you raid in those. You're not going to be able to put in too many security devices, so you're relying more on out of mind or out of sight, out of mind to hide your base. But I love
You
it.
probably put a
I
code
think it's a
lock
great.
on it or something, right?
Sorry.
You probably
Yeah.
put a code lock on that door
Yeah.
or something like that.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
but-
yeah. You can
you
put
look
code
at
on it,
good to
the
go.
most above ground bases. They've got 10 dozen airlocks and all the rest of it. So you're going to have to take a lot of raid charges or whatever to get in. Whereas that one might not be as easily defendable unless you're going to put in a dozen doors down that final hallway. But yeah, I love it. I think things like that would be very. Imagine that even as a dynamic event. That's the next thing for it. Something that's static on the server, but people don't know it's there, and then someone finds it and they get they oh wow, I wonder whose this is, and it's an event they've got a raid and there's infected inside it and stuff
Oh
like that.
shit! Add smoke and make it announced across the top
Yep.
of the screen. Like even like, hey
Yeah,
man, like
depending on how your
a
server
bunker's
is.
been located here. Like
Yep.
little message up top and shit.
There's so many
like,
options with things like that.
hell
you know.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I love
Love that.
dynamic events. The more dynamic events, because they're organic, you don't have to do them. You can choose to do them, and that's just another option. They're right there. A bunker like that, full of a dozen infected. Military ones maybe or something like that. So they're a bit harder, and you're not going to know what you're getting into until you get down there. And yeah, there's so many great options, Josie. I love stuff like that.
Oh yeah. I'd never attend that party. I'd sit in the bush and wait for everybody to go to exit that party
Exactly.
and shoot at people that did go to that
Yep.
party.
Yep.
That's it.
Same as with the survivor missions and things like that. There's,
Again, not a gamer, but if I did dive into it, like
yeah.
I've watched enough streamers, like
Now,
hell yeah.
had a creator you wanted to spotlight this week.
Yeah, so okay, content creation corner this week. We've gone for a well-known name this week, and the reason why is the link will be in the chat in a second. Is because the story itself is on the new Pacific Northwest map. Sour Sweet has done a really good job here. So obviously he starts off with nothing as normal, but this is more of a an hour's worth or close to an hour's worth of a solo run on a highly populated server. Now, I've played this server myself. I did a video on this server about a week and a half ago as well. And I can tell you now, this server, at the time that he's made this and I made mine, it was popping. And you will hear straight away, as soon as he's logged in, the same experience I had. There are players killing everywhere. So it's a really good. It was alive, but it was he's turned it into a video. So he goes on this little adventure anyway from the coast. Meets multiple individuals who are, a lot of them, hostile. The normal DayZ story, but he has to actually really work hard here to stay alive. He does die in the end. He comes close to dying on 2 occasions as well, but the actual story itself it's a really good video, and the thumbnail is another good thumbnail from him. So that is my content creator of the week this week.
And he's gone for the classic YouTuber trope title there, Josie. How a insert hour destroys, annihilates, takes on. Yeah. But it's the meta. You got to do it. And you look at the video.
I mean, that's the catch, though. It's like, let's see what this 7,000 hours is really made of. Like,
yeah. And to be fair, he does a good job. Yeah.
Well, you can see it. Like, I mean, you see people claiming those high hours. Like, you can tell if it's real or not.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's the link to the video, folks, if you want to go watch the rest of it. Sour Sweet's good. And he's got good gamer instinct. I remember showcasing something a while back, a clip of his. I think it was on Namolsk, and he's looking at a body of a player, and he's going through it in his head, and he's like, so if they fell that way, then they should be. And he turns around and scopes in. They should be there, and shoots the guy. And it was just like, got to respect that. That's good awareness. That's very good awareness. That's really, really good. Something we like to do on the show, Josie, is individual spotlights, where we've got you on, and we showcased you for the first half of this. What's something that's impressed you, mate, that you would like people to know about?
Yeah, I gotta lean on the console community and go with Dabs and Doritos. He's the dude that wouldn't be G-code without.
I think we've got to get this guy on, Cobra. I've been hearing his name quite a bit, Dabs and Doritos.
Like, I was doing Twitch like three plus years ago, just messing around making some proxy shit, just to have the video vlog it. Like, I had a small hard drive on a laptop, couldn't really save it, but I'm streaming it saves. I can download it later, right? So I was doing some proxy and shit, and this dude was always just hanging out. I don't know if he was learning or whatnot, but he was making proxy and shit. And I was like, dude, I should just make a group and teach people how to do this stuff and share these files. And he was like, yeah. And I was like, well, you're doing it too then. So like, started doing that. But like, for the console community, like the event groups and shit he's been coming up with, like, I don't have links or anything handy, but like a lot of the event group videos I do of the last month or so, like the shit he's doing with XMLs alone to make it work on console is just crazy. And again, like constantly with the helicopters, because the only signal you really have other than Santa Sleigh on console to get you like some sounds and some smoke and shit like that going on. So like it's always got to have like a properly placed helicopter and a bonfire or something like underground subtly to get like these effects and stuff. And he proxies these things to like the main item that's going to be part of the event group that has all the, I don't know, it's just wild the shit he does. And it's just blows my mind to see where both of us have gone with like XML and a controller. Like, it's just crazy.
Yeah, fair
but
play.
Yeah, he's the co-owner of the G Code. Like I say, me, him, and Star Slick Raffy.
Send him a message, ask him if you'd like to come on and just talk about what he does, mate, because that's why we're here, is to showcase these people who are doing good shit for the DayZ community, man. Yeah,
absolutely.
It's awesome.
Shit, if you can wake him up Like the name ain't a joke. Like he's probably yeah.
What about you, Cobra?
I'm going to give a shout out this week to an individual who is a friend of mine who is starting out on Twitch. And I said I'd give her a shout out last week on my personal accounts. And literally just started out on Twitch. She needs as much support as possible. I'm going to put her link in the
Try and
chat
talk her out
now.
of starting on Twitch.
Yeah, well, that's her route. That's what she's gone with. So, guys, girls, if you could go and say hello, pop in and give her a little wave, show her a little bit of support, that would be fantastic. She's not at the moment, but I think she's planning on going live. She was supposed to go live today. I need to check, but I think she'll be on tomorrow.
Yep.
So her name's Q Dens. She's done a couple of videos with me on my channel, and we wish her all the very best in her future career.
The classic 87.8 community. The community is my spotlight. Thanks to you guys, we're being able to do a few things. Obviously, one, we helped fund or we paid for all of the models that Winstride made for the crocodile mod, and it wasn't that cheap. So had to dip in a bit into my own pocket, but this is my hobby. Some people build cars or something like that. Mine is this community and DayZ. But we're also going to be doing something else. And you had the Pacific Northwest map there. Well, Bitterroot is about to go through its another playtest starting 27th of September. We're going to be funding a server for all the Aussies and the Kiwis down under. Matty Ice is paying for all the other servers himself. And I know for us Aussies and Kiwis, it sucks having to play these servers with 200 plus ping. So I've been in contact with my mate Spud. He's put me in contact with the guy he uses for his servers for DayZ Down Under. There's another bingo card. And we're going to be paying for a Deddy server that Matty will be able to do what he does with his playtest for the week or so that it's up for again. So there will be an Australian-based Bitterroot playtest server because I don't know about you guys, but I can play with a higher ping, but I hate it. I really hate it. If I can find a server in my backyard that has a good ping, that's what I'm going to play on. Plus, it'll probably be slightly lower pop at the times that I play in the mornings here in Australia. So I'll be able to explore and survive unhindered by all the PvP sweaty boys, Josie.
Yeah, I don't mind the PvP, but like if I play like that the mosque cold survival style, like not necessarily just the mosque, just like anything with that cold survival environment, like the Chinaris one I'm messing with is like again just it's got the frozen food and all that. Like I just like that survival aspect.
It's
like I like some funny
well,
ha-has and some like little Resident Evil twists and shit, like the demons and shit like that.
But I've said it before, Josie, that Namolsk mod of freezing food, and when you spawn in, you're dying of cold, was one of the best ways to get people to actually interact more with each other. Because you spawn in on the moles, you see someone with a fire, you run up there. Yeah, sure, you get the occasional dick every now and then who tries to kill everyone, but for the most part, most people are just thankful someone's got a fire going, and they start teaming up. And it's like, has anyone got rope? We'll go get some fish, and they're behaving a lot more like most survivors would, teaming up to try to survive. And then, sure, once they've got enough food in their belly, they all turn into fucking cannibals and crazy psychos. But it's nice to be able to, a genuine organic reason of why you should team up with someone, because doing it by yourself isn't easy on the Molsk if it's a more hardcore server. So it was a great idea. Sumrak and the team who worked on the coding behind that was brilliant.
It's just the survival experience is like, I don't know, like on the console world when the files were first released, all we had played was official. So it's like, oh, we want something with some traders, we want boosted loot, like wanting all that. And the more and more I've like crept into the making of PC mods and shit, more so meme style mods, but something like I say, the events and stuff like that. I think that survival aspect and that immersive like doesn't have a storyline. Like we got like as a modder, like you got to build some type of storyline with what you're doing. Like I've overhauled like with JSON files or editor files or whatever, like 80% of Trinars. Like I don't know, I guess that was always home. So like rework the map. Then now we got access to like PC always had access to like the builder items, but like again up here it was always console. So like now that they can convert P3Ds through JSON, I started piddling with trees and shit in my builds. Again, everything I do, like most of it, it's not all shared yet. Like everything I video isn't always shared, but like as we hit milestones of like members or whatever, like we share stuff. So like, content's there. It's just like, I put the work in. I don't really have a server necessarily. Like I say, I have a server, but it's like not something I keep up with or really admin or whatever. Like somebody wants to shoot somebody in the face, I don't really give a shit. Whatever.
Well, Luke in chat there saying he likes the idea of hardcore survival servers for console, mate. Because,
man.
Yeah, you find yourself going in circles with DayZ. Like I think I'm in hardcore is great and all, but I just going to enjoy just being able to do things a bit easier for a while, and then I know I'll inevitably end up back on the ones where I'm struggling just to find something to eat for the first 2 hours of surviving and that. But there's the link in chat again, folks. Josie, you can check him out on his YouTube channel, and the Discord for the G code is in there as well. Get in there. Almost 5,500 members, man. That's pretty impressive for a community Discord that's not around a big name content creator or something.
Oh, that's some massive numbers, mate. That is huge numbers. Huge numbers for
Discord. It's just a collective gathering of just a bunch of knowledgeable people and people learning or looking to learn something.
Get a link up for your community in ours, mate, because we've got a section at the top of the Discord now for useful links sort of thing, and it's basically going to be for channels like yours or Discords like yours where it's a knowledge gathering, sharing place there. So you mentioned the Infusion Discord before. Some people feel intimidated going in there because there's some big names and all the rest of it. But we can point them out. And
I feel like they all spill spaghetti sauce on their white t-shirts too.
Yeah, but a lot of people probably think you're a big name now as well, mate, whether you realize it or not.
I really wish I wouldn't, like, for real. like, I don't know.
Josie, thank you so much for coming on, mate. I love what you're doing. We've definitely got to look at trying to work out Dabs of Doritos coming on, because I just keep hearing that name a bit. I've reached out to Balshard once, but I think there's a bit of a communication barrier there. I might try that again as well, because he just seems like another absolute legend of the console community. But cannot thank you enough, mate. You're a very interesting cat. I love the intro to your videos. You've got to do a sign off for us, mate. The classic Josie Garfunkel sign off.
Let's hear this.
On the spot, no pressure.
On the spot, man. No pressure, man. Shit, I just smoked 3 of them. Jesus. All right, man. Well, that's all for me, man. I hope y'all learned some shit. I'm out. All right, man. I appreciate it, guys. I'll see y'all on the next one.
Next week's episode is going to be a good one, ladies and gentlemen. We've got Captain Sauna coming on, and he's the guy behind the Northmen servers. So he'll be talking about that. Plus, we're hoping that Archie will be back, and Archie's been investigating something that we've talked about in the past. I don't think I'm going to go into it, but it's one of the less how would you word it, Cobra? One of the dirtier parts of the server hosting side of things. So he's managed to find some information out, and we'll be sharing that on the show. Hopefully next week, he'll be able to have that ready for us all to look at. But Captain Sauna, the Northmen servers, pretty big community, monetized community, which you guys have heard it from us before. We're not against you making money. If you can run a good professional server, you should be making a few quid, because it's a lot of heartbreak, heartache, sweat and tears and blood goes into running a community, doesn't it, Cobra?
Oh, absolutely, mate. Every day. Got to be on it every day, mate.
But you got to do it ethically, folks. And Yeah, we'll be talking a bit about that next week with Captain Sauna as well, because he's got some comments on that as well. I've been chatting with him behind the scenes and that beforehand. So yeah, we will see you all next week, same time, same channel as always for the DayZ Podcast with Captain Sauna. Say bye-bye.
Take care, man. Take care, guys.